My home used to overwhelm me a lot. The clutter, the stuff everywhere, never quite feeling done. In fact, a few years ago, I would have rated my home quite low on the Chaos Calm score app. But now, I would say most weeks, I'm probably around here. Not perfect, but so much easier to manage. This little app is something I've created myself, but more on that towards the end of this video. So today I'm challenging myself to see how much I can get done in 1 hour to reset our home. So a bit of cleaning, decluttering and tidying so we can hang out with a cup of coffee together and reset our spaces. And we're starting in the kitchen. This was a morning reset, and what I usually start with is I will empty the dishwasher, which usually has clean dishes inside because I like to set it up the night before. I think for me, if I can just stay on top of the dishwasher and like the ongoing dishes, I feel like my days run smoother. And one trick I do here to just make it a little bit quicker for me to do the dishes is I have moved the plates in the drawer right next to the dishwasher. I don't know why, but before that, I had my dishes in an upper cabinet that was kind of not necessarily out of reach, but it was just not that convenient. And I realized if I move most of the plates and bowls in this lower drawer that's literally right next to the dishwasher, it makes it so much quicker to unload the dishes. And then making sure that the mugs are actually quite close to the cabinet where they go in as well. And I think sometimes there's this misconception, or just we have this feeling like if we just had a bigger house, if we just had more space in the kitchen, more cupboards, then things would just be easier to stay on top of, or it would be easier to have a tidy home because you would have more space. But actually, I think sometimes the more space you have, the more things you add to it, and that actually just makes it harder to clean. So I think, my kitchen is on the smaller size. People are always surprised when I say our home is about 1,000 square feet, which I think is about 100 square meters. And, our kitchen is on the smaller side, but actually it just makes it a little bit more functional because everything's quite close together. And so even unloading cups or unloading cutlery, it's just a little bit quicker. So I think there are perks to having smaller sized kitchens or sometimes a smaller space as well. One thing I did was I also went through the medicine that we had here and just kind of making sure none of the meds were out of date. And I did put all of the dirty dishes in the dishwasher except for a fair few that need hand washing, so like these wooden boards. So I just give them a super quick wash in the sink. And for me, just this small task of emptying the dishwasher and putting dirty dishes back in and basically just clearing my counter of dishes makes me feel like I'm ready for the day. And it just makes our days run smoother when, the kitchen sides are not full of stuff to the brim and full of dirty plates that you can't use later. I think it's just a nicer experience, like it's a nicer space to live in. I took the chance to also give the kitchen sides a clean, the windowsill, just kind of making sure the surfaces in here are clear. And I use my 5 to 7 rule. So if I don't use something 5 days out of 7 of the week, like appliances or gadgets or anything in the kitchen, if I don't use it 5 days out of 7, then I will just store it away in one of the cupboards because it means it doesn't need to live on my kitchen cupboards or on my kitchen table. So that's how I've kind of streamlined this surface, and it means when I go to give it a wipe, it's just so much quicker to do. We also used to have a kitchen rug, but I very quickly realized after having small children that that is not practical at all. After getting spaghetti bolognese and raspberries for the millionth time on it, we decided to just ditch the kitchen rug, or at least in this phase of life. I love a rug, and I think, it can make a space look so cozy, and maybe in the future we will add that. But in this phase with, a toddler and just small children in general, I think it's not very practical, and it's just so much quicker to hoover and mop when you don't have any rug in there. And it's the same you'll see in our dining table as well. In our entryway, we always have just a few mail that accumulates, and so I had a few things I wanted to recycle and also a few things I needed to get back to, like reply. Usually this spot is kind of our drop all for things like keys, wallets, sunglasses, things like that, but things accumulate like hair ties for my daughter or just random things like that, so I just went quickly to relocate those. And something I found works really well on all of our mirrors and windows and leaves it very streak-free without, needing any sort of special tools or anything like that, is just simple white vinegar spray. It's very inexpensive. I got this one in Tesco. It's the Star Drops one, and I mean, any white vinegar spray would work probably. I just use one of those special cloths for a glass surface, but that's about it. And I have been using this for a few months now, and it really works so well on mirrors and windows. Our coffee table in the living room always gets stuff on it. Like, it's inevitable with two small children. Sometimes they'll have snacks here. That's why they have their two little chairs. Sometimes they'll do crafts. So yeah, I just took some bits of paper, like scraps and things they've drawn on, just took them to the recycling, and then I wiped the table as well, just to keep it nice and fresh. One thing that also helps here, because as you can see, there's always blankets thrown around and my cushions on here, and it's just inevitable. But what helps is to have less of those. So here I think we have 2 or 3 of those blankets that I actually store in under our sofa in this little storage area, but we don't keep a lot of cushions or a lot of blankets in here exactly for that reason, because if there's a lot of them, it's going to be so hard to keep them tidy. Kids will just inevitably throw them around. I also did a bit of a tidy of their toys this morning, put some things back in their little dollhouse space that they have here in the Willy bookcase, and I just realized that I'm tidying our real house, and then I'm also tidying a doll's house as well. But you know what? I actually kind of enjoyed that. I did a super quick tidy of some of their board games, and I actually took 2 of them out to declutter because I know they're board games that they no longer really play much. So we just gave those away, but we still have plenty in here to play with. And we have minimal surfaces in here and also minimal stuff on the surfaces in here as well. Just like the kitchen, the less stuff you have out, the easier it will be to clean and dust. And I just don't want to spend all my time in moving random little knickknacks around so that I can dust a surface. I just want it to be a super quick thing that I can just easily get done in a power hour, and it doesn't have to take up my whole weekend. I used that same vinegar spray on the windows here. I wanted to give them a bit of a wipe because I don't know about yours, but mine always seem to have fingerprints for my kids, which is fine, you know, it's a lived-in home. But today I just wanted to give it a little bit of a refresh. And also in the living room, I just gave it a quick hoover because there's always some crumbs around here. And as you can see, I left out some of their toys because they did build some things that they were very proud of and they wanted to play again with a bit later. So I left that up and I'm just hoovering around it, which is kind of ridiculous, but that's okay. I'll get to it later as well. Another thing I'm going to do downstairs is our downstairs toilet. So I'm just giving it a refresh and removing everything from the surfaces to give it a spray. And actually, again, we don't have a lot in here either. And for spraying the surfaces, I've been using the bathroom cleaner from Purdy and Fig here. And then I just use some plain old bleach for the toilet. I have tried so many other things for like the toilet bowl, more natural stuff, and I just always feel like I have to go back to the bleach at least once in a while just to give it a really good clean. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm missing something, but this is what I am using today. Then moving on to our bedroom, because we keep it so ridiculously simple, there's really not much to do in here except I just made the bed and then I gave the surfaces a super quick dust. There's not a lot of surfaces in here. In fact, the only surface is this bedside table that's on my side. My husband doesn't actually have one because he does have his desk very close to the bed, so he doesn't need an extra table there. But yeah, I did give his desk a little wipe too. And I used just this lint roller on the top of the bed because the frame can get a bit dusty up there. So I just like to freshen it up once in a while. I'm also going to just do a quick reset in my kids' bedrooms. And remember the app that I showed you with my before and after score for my home? I did get questions about this on Instagram, and yes, you can get access to this as well. So if you watch this video before September, then you can probably still join the reset challenge. So I'm doing a reset challenge for my Simply Decluttered program during September. So it will be September 1st to September 30th. We will be decluttering together. There will be a private group where we'll do it together. There's going to be some rewards in there for following through, and I just want to make it super fun, and this app is part of that. So you get to score your day 1 and your day 30 and see your progress throughout. And I've been spending a lot of time doing this, and I think it's going to be really fun for us to do this together. So doors for it will open on August 24th, and then we will close doors on August 30th. So we have time to set everyone up and start the reset together on September 1st. I got a few questions on when I'll do another reset like this after the September one, and honestly, I'm not sure maybe in January next year, but I haven't actually planned it out yet. So yeah, but if you do want to join the September one, the link will be in the description box. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in my next video.